Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the country is committed to dismantling Hamas despite calls for a ceasefire. Thousands, including families of some of the hostages held by Hamas, rallied this weekend in Tel Aviv after 3 hostages were accidentally killed by the IDF. ABC's Inez de la Quitar was in Gaza, where the IDF showed her one of the largest tunnels they say was built by Hamas.
Tonight, growing calls for a new hostage deal, with some of the hostages' families even setting up camp outside of the IDF's headquarters.
It's quite obvious the only way to bring hostages alive is by negotiation and by a deal.
This after Israeli forces accidentally killed 3 hostages on Friday. According to the IDF's preliminary investigation, Yotam Haim, Alon Shamritz, and Samir Talalka left a building in an area of very intense fighting, shirtless and carrying a stick with a white cloth. A soldier saw them as a threat and opened fire, killing 2 instantly. Someone later crying out help in Hebrew. Troops were ordered to stop firing. Another soldier shot dead the 3rd hostage minutes later. Today, 26-year-old Shamritz laid to rest. The Israeli Prime Minister now hinting hostage talks could be back on. Though Hamas says there won't be any negotiations until the fighting stops. Today, an Israeli airstrike hitting a school run by the UN. The injured rushed to the hospital in cars and in the backs of trailers. The wounded treated on the floor. This man shouting, "This is an injustice." Over 18,000 Palestinians have now been killed, according to the Hamas-run health ministry. We were taken inside Gaza, embedding with the IDF to see the biggest Hamas tunnel they've ever uncovered. A project they say was overseen by Mohammed Sinwar, brother of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar.
You can see how deep this tunnel goes. This is something that would have taken years to build. The IDF saying this probably took millions of dollars, and they say they will be destroying this tunnel because you cannot destroy Hamas without destroying its tunnel network.
This as we learn of another hostage's death. 27-year-old Inbar Heyman killed in Hamas captivity. So far, at least 20 Israeli hostages have died.
Is this approach of going in by force and trying to rescue the hostages by force, is it working? We're learning, almost every day of additional hostages who've been killed.
We haven't neglected the negotiation, and it takes time. It's complex. As you mentioned, the civilians above the ground, we need to distinguish them. And we have the tunnels and the terrorists under the tunnels, and we have our hostages. And we have to conduct all of the above into our operation, and it takes time, and we will do it as fast as we can.
And tomorrow, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin arrives in Israel as the U.S. pressures Israel to move to a smaller, more focused phase in its fight against Hamas. And tonight, at the U.S.'s request, humanitarian aid trucks now crossing into Gaza via the Kerem Shalom border crossing for the first time since the beginning of the war. Lindsay?
Perhaps that will allow for some much-needed aid to get in. Inez, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.